is only war.
What is up, gents? 40k Dirtbags here. We got another battle report for you today. We're doing a 3-part series again for an RTT that we actually just won for Chaos Space Marines. Now I couldn't wait to talk about this list with you guys. It's 110 cultists. People thought I was insane bringing this to the tournament. I created this list when the Chaos Space Marine nerf happened, when the Cursed Cultists, when my list basically just got killed off. So it sucked because I painted all 3 full units of a Cursed Cultist, like bought the models, painted up, probably one of the best paint jobs I've done in a very, very long time. And it was doing very well in tournaments. I placed really high in a lot of different events, but they basically just killed that. So a lot of people were testing out different lists, testing out different tactics, stuff like that. Just wait till you see this list. Wait till you see what we did in each game. And leave me in the comments below if it's crazy. You don't have to do it. You don't have to try it out. Just kind of test it out. You know, throw some models on the table. A lot of them can be 3D printed. I actually just 3D printed 100 cultists. 80 of them are 3D print. The other 20 I had already. So if you have an opportunity to get it, it's going to save you a lot of money. Who knows what it's going to be like with the new codex coming out. But if you guys are new to the channel, we do a lot of competitive battle reports and tactical videos up on YouTube. Also, we have a Patreon, which is specific stuff geared toward patreon.com. You can't really get it on YouTube, so we do a lot of stuff only on Patreon, like battle reports and also live streaming games, especially for any grandmasters want to see specific videos or tactical stuff up on Patreon. That's over on there. So if you guys want to support the channel, wouldn't be doing this without my Patreon. So thank you so much for supporting me. We're going to be growing a lot in 2024. We are about 1,200 away from 10,000 subscribers. Didn't think we would get there super fast, but it's been a grind. And we're about $95, give or take, away from the Patreon $1,000 event giveaway. So last time we got 500, we did a huge giveaway with a bunch of prize support, models and stuff like that. We're doing that again with Patreon 1,000. So once we get to $1,000 a month, we're going to be giving away up to $1,000 worth of stuff to all of our Patreons. So really appreciate the support, and I want to give it back to you guys, not only with the videos and stuff like that, but with the everything. So this is going to be a recorded video for the first 3 videos. We're going to go over game 1, 2, and 3, and the list is going to be exactly the same. So I'm going to go over the list so you guys can see the same thing in every single video, and then at the end of it, we're going to go into the battle report. So if you guys have already seen this, fast forward to that part of the video, and we're going to go over picture by picture, frame by frame, and turn by turn to kind of go over what we did good, how we could have got better, and what fucking crazy list this is. So let's get into the list. Alright guys, so I'm going to be posting the list in the description below, but this is the list. This is, let me there you go. So zombies are cultists. All right, so we were testing this out at RTT. I never ran it before. This is the first 3 games I ran this list. So zombies are cultists. Now the only reason we use zombies because Craig had them and they were color coded. There's no way I'm going to be able to move 100 models on the table and not have them color coded, because it would just be madness. So we actually used regular cultists for the heavy weapons like the stubbers, the flamers, and the crack missiles, and then all the regular guys have long guns. So the long guns have 2 shots each within 12 inches. It's basically rapid fire. I believe the strength didn't really matter. I think they're strength 3, but the strength doesn't matter because this list is all about rerolls, auto wounding on 5s, and stuff like that. But there are 100 zombies, cultists. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mans of 20. There's 1 man of 10. And basically they're all Tzeentch. I think I had 1 unit of Slaanesh, but I played him as Tzeentch the whole game because I forgot. So basically everything is Tzeentch, and that 10 man up there is Nurgle. They were mainly there for action, secondaries, coming on the table edge, blocking out the deployment zone, whatever it may be, but that's Nurgle. This list has changed a little bit since the last time I played it, so I'm trying to remember exactly what we had. And then we had 2 Nurgling units. They're really good for secondaries. They're just really good for chaos in general. Abaddon is the warlord. He's in this list specifically for the rerolls, because if everything is Tzeentch, you're able to crit on 5s and auto wound. So I don't care what the strength is, I'm just trying to roll as many 5s as possible with a full reroll, and everything's within 6 inches. So you basically tag off one guy, which means the whole unit gets full rerolls. And that's kind of what we've been doing with the 4+ invuln save with our Cursed Cultist build, which you've guys seen plenty of videos of. Then we have a 10-man Legionnaire unit. I love the 10-man with Abaddon, especially because if there's enough of them, he's going to get to his target, most likely. If there's 5 of them, they're a lot easier to kill, but if there's 10 of them, you can kind of like hopefully make your 4-up invuln saves and then pick off the ones you don't really need, and then once you get into combat, you just murder whatever you touch. Why we have them is because Abaddon can then reroll his Dark Pact with the icon in the unit, and also full rerolls to wound on an objective. So if an enemy unit's on an objective, Abaddon gets full rerolls to wound. He already has full rerolls to hit, so the whole squad plus himself has full rerolls to hit and full rerolls to wound with his devastating wounds. It's a blender. 5-man Terminator unit, they are Slaanesh. We also are using a Sorcerer in this list because of the -1 AP. So now anything that I want to target on a 2+, it's now everything is -1 extra AP on all their guns. So all these AP 0 shots now become AP 1, which is kind of deadly. Honestly, it is just fucking nuts. I'll tell you what I disliked about this unit. This unit got taken out, but for these 3 videos, they're going to be in and we're going to be talking about it. Hellbrute is another key unit to this list. The Hellbrute with the Abby combo. Anytime you crit, you get lethals and sustain. So with the chaos wording, Tzeentch, Nurgle, whatever it may be, you crit on a 5, meaning that you get lethal and sustain on a 5. So if you're able to crit on a 5, basically with the Hellbrute within 6 inches of you, you're actually going to be able to crit on a 5, lethal and sustain. So what you do is you roll, let's say 20 dice, you get 10 5s. Those 5s auto wound, so basically you put 5 dice to the side, and then you put 5 more into the bucket because they explode. And then you re-roll the ones that missed, and then you do the same thing. Let's say you get 5 more 5s, you pick out the 5s, put them to the side, and then add 5 more to the pot. Then you take out all the misses, and then you re-roll all those ones that hit on a 5, and then you roll a wound. So that's the crit that's the lethal and sustain on a 5. That's what the whole point of this list is. And that works for everything within 6 inches. So again, if you tag somebody within 6 inches of the Hellbrute and Abby, that whole 20-man blob gets full rerolls to hit, critting on 5s, and lethal and sustain. It's just insane, guys. So we have 2 Predators. These are 3 printed by our boy Zach. We're not doing the last cannon, it's the autocannon, so it's basically this one. It's the autocannon with heavy bolters. I think I tried the last cannons. I'm going to be switching it to the heavy bolters, but the last cannons is what we used for this event with the Havoc Launcher and the combi weapon. Then, if you guys have noticed already, you're like, well, what the fuck is that? That is a crown. So that's the Chaos Crown. We used it a lot in 9th edition. 9th edition, you basically got to do you gained a CP, I believe, every turn. So instead of Abaddon gave him a CP, the crown gave us a CP, and everything within a certain distance of it had a 4-up invuln save. So just such a clutch model. And now in 10th edition, it's even better because with fortifications, you can put them literally right next to a terrain feature. Before, you had to remove a terrain feature and put it down if you couldn't fit it, and it had to be like 3 inches away from a terrain feature. Now, you literally just put it fucking right next to a terrain feature, and it's good to go. So then everything within 9 inches of it, wholly within, has a 4-up invuln save, and it's per model, it's not per unit. So let's say half my unit's in it, half my unit's out of it, the one that's in it gets the 4-up invuln save. So let's say I have 10 guys out of 9 inches. I'm not going to make the saves on them. I'm going to make the saves on the 10 guys that are in the 9 inches, like my cultists. So it's really, really good with spam, like the cultist spam and a cursed cultist, stuff like that. And even tanks. So tanks are wholly within 9 inches, which most of the time they're getting the 4-up invuln save. Guys, it is just such a good combo. So that is the 2,000 point list. So if you guys are at the point now, you probably fast forwarded on game 2 and game 3, but we're going to go into game 1. So let's go into game 1, 2, or 3, and then we'll get into it. All right, guys, so game one is against Dark Angels. This is a newer player. I love RTTs that attracts newer players to the events. Let me pull up the mission. All right, so we got John. John ran a list, fun list. Like, it's basically somebody that's collecting Dark Angels. They're like, all right, this stuff seems really cool. Let's put it on the table and see how it goes. So we try to teach them as much as we possibly can. Again, that's the point of RTTs. I say this all the time for people that are trying to get into 40K or the competitive scene. All my dirtbags are the same way. Some people are like, no, I don't want to play. I don't want to get too involved because it's stressful. Well, it's stressful if you go against a dickhead, right? But usually dickheads don't go to local stores because then they cause a ruckus, they get banned, whatever it may be. There's a long story with that. But you're going to have fun playing just 3 games in a day. Just throwing your models on the table, getting an actual game in. Even if you go 0-3, you still got 3 full games in that you probably learned every single time that you played and got to meet new people. You might be able to exchange numbers, figure out other local stores in the area, meet up somebody's house that you want to kind of get a game in and teach you. That's what you learn at RTTs. That's why I love RTTs so much, especially for newer players. So ask any of my dirtbags. A lot of them have been branching out and getting into the competitive scene. That's the whole point of the Dirtbag Nation. But this guy is the same exact way. So John, he ran Lionel Johnson, of course, because if you're gonna run Dark Angels, you should run Lionel Johnson. Azrael with the Plasma Dudes, which are fucking insane. We're gonna go over that. A Dreadnought, a tank, like a really good shooting tank. Again, I'm sorry for the name. If you guys are new to the channel, I'm really good at the game. I just don't know the names. You'll learn that as you watch the videos. We have a unit of the New Knights, which look amazing. An Apothecary with the Azrael unit, a unit of the Terminators shooting. I think it's 2 shooting units, 1 assault unit, and a unit of the Hellblaster dudes. And then I think he's got a unit of the regular dudes, the regular bolt gun guys. Small elite army, Dark Angels, super fun. So what we did was we played Scorched Earth. Scorched Earth is I would say difficult way because you have to burn an objective to get max points. If you don't burn an objective, you're not really going to get max points. And what I'm trying is fixed. So if you guys have ever seen me play fixed, you have to make a list for it. And I was like, you know what? Let's try fixed. Like, this is the first time we're running the army. Let's test it out and see how it does. Of course, when we're running fixed, I get freaking Scorched Earth, which means you have to burn one of the objectives, so you can't use that objective to do a fixed action. And I'm like, you know what? Screw it. We're testing. This is a stress test. So we got Scorched Earth, and I believe it's Dawn of War deployment. So it's basically everything within 18 inches up, or 12 inches up. I think it's 12 inches up. So it's basically 10 or 12 inches up, and 3 in the center, and then 2 out there. This is the terrain setup at Alternate Universes Bluebell in Pennsylvania. We gradually go every single time there's a new update. Games Workshop updated it, so we changed the terrain. We broke off a lot of different stuff we had in 9th, and then we made it into 10th edition. So it's a really good store. If you guys want to check that out, go hit them up. They do Monday Night Gaming, which is where I'm at. So this is the terrain. Everything is basically line of sight blocking. It's all ruins. These green things are ruins as well, with 2 inches on each side. Same thing over here, ruins, 2 inches, and everything you can't see on the other side of it. All right, so let's just give a quick rundown. Now this is our deployment. Like I said, you can put the crown right next to a terrain feature. It doesn't have to be 3 inches away. You basically just plop it right there because there's really no rules on it in 10th edition, which is just funny. And also another thing I learned after the fact of playing 3 games with this thing is it doesn't have a keyword, vehicle, infantry, anything. So the way you can't move vehicles through vehicles with other vehicles is because it has the vehicle keyword. With this thing, it doesn't have a keyword, so you can basically just move right through it with anything. I didn't know that, so I played 3 games without knowing that. Now I know that. It's pretty scary. So if I needed to move the Predator could literally move right over that thing onto the other side of it. So that's something to keep in mind with this thing as well. It blocks the opponent out from moving through it because it's an enemy model, but you can move through your own models now, and since it's not a vehicle, you can just move right through it. So that's pretty funny. Now we took Cleanse and deploy teleport homers. Deploy teleport homers super good in 10th edition, and cleanse because we have so many freaking bodies. I'm like, hey, let's just try and get cleanse going. So what we did was we moved. We started the Nurglings up here so that way they can scooch up, be wholly within or just within 6 inches of the center to do our turn 1 deploy teleport homer, and then we need our cultists to basically move up and get onto the objective to do a cleanse. So luckily our Slaanesh unit that we were testing out basically gets to run up and do a cleanse with 1 CP. Over here he basically is lone up his Lionel Johnson right there, and then he's got his dudes tied back there, his tank right there, just kind of line of sight straight through here to get to our crown. The plasma dudes over here, Azrael with the apothecary, and then the dreadnought over here kind of get moving up to get line of sight. We have Abaddon in this ruin, sorry, right down here. So we got Abaddon, a predator behind the ruin, all the legionnaires, bunch of cultists, another predator, cultists, and then I put a little 10-man cultist unit over here, just to kind of block out that side of the table. So he gets turn 1, basically moves everything forward, just kind of running at me. Doesn't really get a ton of shots off. Or do we get turn 1? He gets turn 1, moves up, doesn't get a ton of shots off, kills a couple guys, and then for us, okay, so him going first, he basically moves up everybody to get in position for next turn. Wasn't a ton for him to shoot at turn 1, kind of put some random pot shots into some zombies down here. I'm going to keep saying zombies, but you guys know I mean cultists. Then our turn 1, we actually rolled a 6 for the advance on the Slaanesh unit, so they basically are able to run up and get 2 on this center objectives. So we actually put 1 out right here, 1 out over there, and actually you spend 1 CP so that way they can advance, shoot, and charge because of being Slaanesh. So basically advance up, do the 1 CP, they can do cleanse, so they cleanse on both objectives turn 1. Then, like I said, the Nurglings scooch over and they do deploy teleport homers. That gets us 3 points. So we actually got 3 and 4 for fixed on turn 1, which was awesome way to start the game. Abaddon scooches all the way up to the corner right here. Let me make my head smaller. So Abaddon scooches up to that corner right there, just so that way he's ready to go in case anybody moves forward. He is basically scooching up there just so he's like the launching point, but everything within 6 inches gets full rerolls to hit from him, and then the Hellbrute is right next to him, so that everything's within 6 inches of the Hellbrute gets lethal and sustain at the same time. Everything within 9 inches as well, if you guys notice a huge bubble right here, is getting the 4++ invuln save. So that is why we have the crown right there anyway. So let me just make this sorry, smaller for you guys. All right, cool. So the crown's right there. Everything within 9 inches of the crown, huge bubble, is getting the 4 of invuln save. Predator back here, waiting. He put some shots onto the Azrael unit over here, but didn't, really kill anybody. And then he's within 24 inches, so when somebody dies, they're actually able to shoot again. I don't play these guys a lot, so I've learned a lot from them. So wait till you see how much shit they kill. And that was our turn 1. Pretty simple. The Pred over here moved up and got some shots off on this Dread over there. So going into turn 2, he gets 10 for Scorched Earth. So he held that one and that one. So he gets 10 points. And then he picked behind enemy lines on turn 1 and no prisoners. Super tough draw, no one. So he got 0 for turn 1. Turn 2, he kept no prisoners and got tempting target. So our target that we want to tempt was this left one over here. And the reason why you pick tempting target for your advantage is because you want to determine where the battle is going to be going. If you want them to go a specific way, you pick that target. If you're controlling an objective and you know they're not going to get it, obviously you're going to be picking that one. But if it's kind of like earlier in the game, or you have mainly earlier in the game and you're like, all right, I want the fight to happen over on this side of the table, then you're going to pick the left objective. If he already has, most of his guys moving toward the center, you don't want to do that one. And if he already has guys over here, you don't want to do that one. So I'm going to pick this one over here because I want most of my stuff to be fighting on this side of the table because Abaddon is literally right next to him. Plus all he has is a Dreadnought. So I want a Dreadnought to get closer so that way I can move up, shoot, or charge it to try and kill it. So on his turn 2, he brings some Terminators down. He's got his melee dudes right here with, I think, a Chaplain. I forget what character he had in this unit, but they came down. They had the shooty Terminators come down. Lionel Johnson moving up, and these guys kind of chaining out with the tank. The tank kept shooting at my crown, but I kept spending 1 CP for the Nurgle strat, so he can't shoot outside 18 inches. So then you just put some random pot shots into the zombies, cultists, and I just kept rolling, some 4-up invuln saves when I took some last cannons to the face. So that was pretty funny. These guys scooch up and shoot a bunch of my cultists down here. So there's only 2, 4, 6, 8 guys left in this unit. So he kills 12 of them. There's a bunch of blue guys that took some shots. The red guys are almost, the Slanesh guys are almost dead. I think he deep struck the Terminators and then charged and killed a bunch of them, but he wasn't within 6 inches of Abaddon to countercharge, so I didn't countercharge them. So he kind of charged them up there, killed them, piled on, and there was 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 red guys left. See, without color code, there's no way you can run this list. Cool. So we're about to have a really big turn 2. So turn 2, again, we have cleanse and deploy, so I have to kind of get up and do cleanse and deploy. So for our deploy target, we picked this Nurgle unit that basically deep struck in his deployment zone, which was super easy to get because there's basically nothing over here. So we just kept them there, kept deploying the rest of the game. So basically we're going to get 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 the rest of the game. On our turn 2, we get 5 for primary because we held the backfield objective. This thing is OPSEC 0, which kind of stinks, but if you make it sticky, which all the cultists have sticky, you can just make it sticky and walk away if you need to. But we don't have to focus on secondaries. We're basically just getting cleanse, getting deploy, and kill everything. So Abaddon comes out to play, nukes this unit down, like not even close. Just walks up, full rerolls hit, full rerolls the wound, kills the entire unit. All the other guys are chained back, keeping within 9 inches. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 Legionnaires within 9 inches for the 4-up invuln save. The Hellbrute within 9 inches. The Predator within 9 inches. All these guys are within 9. The Nurglings scooch up just to kind of give -1 to hit to anything that comes over here. These guys walk up to cleanse. These guys walk up to cleanse. So we got cleanse on the 2 center objectives. So a bunch of random pot shots going into Lionel Johnson. We took him down to 8. So we did 1 wound. I think we wounded him 30 times. And he failed like 1 or 2 saves. It was funny. So wounding Lionel Johnson with full rerolls to hit, auto wounding on 5s, and critting lethal and sustain on 5s. We wounded him 30 freaking times with 1 unit. It was when I started noticing like this list could be a really good potential. Then we fucked up and we deep struck our rapid ingress, our Terminators over here after he was done his turn 2, so behind the cover. I then moved them up or advanced them so that way I can advance and charge into the unit over here. When I moved him up, he overwatched. When he overwatched, he killed a bunch of them. I think he killed 2 of them, and then I shot him, and then he killed 2 more. I was like, oh my god, this is a bad idea. So now I'm like, all right, I got 1 regular Terminator left. This guy failed his 2+ to do the AP thing, so he took some mortals. He's got a 5-up Feel No Pain in this list. I forgot he's got the Slanesh Feel No Pain buff. And now I'm like, all right, I guess I'll try and charge. Failed the charge. So now they're just sitting there in front of all these plasma dudes. Over here, I did reserve one of my 20-man units. So since they failed their charge, I'm like, all right, I have to try and get onto the point to either tie, contest, or steal the point to try and stop his primary. So they made their charge. They made a 9-inch charge. So they basically walk on the side, shoot a bunch of them. They shot my Terminators. That's how the Terminators died. So I was like, all right, no more shooting that unit. And then we made our 9-inch charge. And we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 OBSEC on this point. He only has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 left. So we actually stole this point from his primary, which was great. So that was our turn 2. We kept him to a 5 on turn 3 for his primary. He got no prisoners. He kept because he got 0 last turn. So now it's time for him to start killing stuff. And he got investigate signals. So for his turn 3, he investigates with his Terminator unit coming in from my backfield. So he basically deep strikes in my backfield, 5 Terminators just kind of ready to go. They do investigate signals, and then he investigates in this corner, I believe, with his scouts. So he gets 4 points for investigate signal, and he kills 2 units for no prisoners. So this unit over here, Azrael's the only one left. So he kills that cultist unit finally. He kills my sorcerer with the Terminators, so they die. So that's 3 units, so he gets 5. Lionel Johnson moves up. Hellbrute charges in, does a tank shock. The Terminators moved up. We got Abaddon advancing and charging over this way to try and get into the Terminators. Now, this is something else I taught him, how to get around fight first. So we have a whole video on this. You basically charge something that doesn't have fight first, and then you pile into the unit that has fight first, and then you're able to fight before them. Because that unit's not in combat when that battle starts. So in this situation, he was in combat, but he has to attack the Hellbrute because Hellbrute's base to base with him. So Lionel walks up, kills the Hellbrute pretty easily, doesn't explode. Lionel Johnson is on 1 wound after that tank shock and a bunch of shooting. Then Abaddon, you could see, finished his charge there. He's then able to pile in 3 inches to get into combat with Lionel Johnson. So Lionel Johnson dies to the Legionnaires, and Abaddon finishes off the Terminator unit in the center. So after turn 3, we got 10 for primary. We only did 1 cleanse because it was this unit over here. They're burning. So I couldn't get anybody on this objective to cleanse. And then we chose to burn with this green unit over here. So they're burning. They're starting to burn this objective. If they burn it at the end of the game, I get 5 points. Predator moved up to get a bunch of shots off onto the scout squad that was back here. They were like behind this building, so I got some, straight line down here. Got some line of sight onto that scout squad. The Nurglings still doing their job. They're just cleansing or teleporting Homer the rest of the game. This thing's still holding strong. Predators here get some shots off on the Terminators, which they're so good. The Predators are so good into infantry. Like I said, I'm switching the last cannons out for heavy bolters because the heavy bolters are AP2 with the sorcerer. They'll be AP3. Kind of nuts. Death Guard, they're even better. Azrael's by himself, so we have to get some shots off to kill Azrael, which we kill Azrael. Now he doesn't have anybody on that point. And at the end of this turn, almost everything is dead. So on his turn 4, he gets 10 for primary. He had Azrael alive over here and the tank over here on the objective, so he got 10 points. He got Secure No Man's Land, which he was only able to hold this one for 2. And then he got Assassinate, which he wasn't able to kill really anybody. Like Abaddon, that's the only character besides the sorcerer. Sorcerer is already dead, so he ditched Assassinate and he picked Overwhelming Force. So he has to kill models on objectives. There's not a lot on objectives that he can actually kill. There's basically still 20-man blobs and Abaddon, so usually he's not going to kill it, so he doesn't get that one either. So our turn, we move up and charge the tank to take off the tank, and then we cleansed this objective, and then these guys cleansed this objective. So we got this objective and this objective cleansed. The scouts came out from the side. They basically are moving up to get on the objective to try and steal it back. I think he wanted to cleanse or burn with this one on this objective. If he burns it, it's going to get him more points than the secondary that he wasn't able to get. So he tried to burn it. He has to survive till next turn to get it to be burned. We were able to kill him beforehand. So by the end of the game, this is basically where we end up. Crown is still alive. We have 2 Predators still alive. This 6 men, or this green unit, still alive. The 3 or 4 red guys that were survived from turn 1 are still alive somehow. 1 Nurgle unit with 1 wound left. This blue squad is moving up and cleansing both objectives. And then he's got these guys, and Azrael basically died. So now Abaddon's there. I think we called it at this point because there's nothing else he could do. Nurglings the rest of the game kept doing deploy teleport homers, and that was basically the game. So with John, we finished up. Now we don't do pain scores until the very end. It kind of keeps people, scoring normally, so that way you don't lose the game based off of painting. RTTs are good for practicing and just getting your models on the table and playing games, so we don't want to penalize people for losing a game because it's not painted. So we paint at the we do points at the very end. It's mainly to do tiebreakers for second, third. So if you have a fully painted army, you can then place second, third, but sometimes fourth place, depending on how many people we have. But first place is locked in if you are undefeated, and then battle points. And then after first place has happened, then they go into paint scores. So if you really want to get your army painted, you can, but if not, you can still come out and have fun at an RTT. This is what we got. 77, so max score is 90. We get 40 out of 50 for primary, so we missed it by 10 points. I was only able to burn one objective, and I got a 5 on turn 2. Then we got 18 out of 20 for cleanse, which is really good. And then we got 19 out of 20 for deployed teleport homers, which is almost perfect because turn 1, I can't deploy in his deployment zone. So the max I can get on that one would be 19 because I deploy in the center with the Nurgling. So really good secondary score. I was surprised even with this Dawn of War setup. The only reason I got it was because I was able to advance up and cleanse on both objectives with the Slaanesh unit. It's really the only way I was able to do it. So revising the list moving forward has the couple games coming up on the battle reports up on Patreon. You'll see what I changed differently about the list to kind of make turn 1 secondaries easier for us if we're going fixed. Now, John here, he had 25 out of 50 for primary. He had 21 out of 40 for secondary. So he just picked a lot of bad secondaries that he wasn't able to get early on. So he got a 0 turn 1, a 5 turn 2. He got a 2 on turn 4. So it was just hard for him to counter all the cultists. Anytime a cultist unit was low, I just ran them away, which is usually what you do in the competitive scene. So again, we taught him as much as we possibly can. So hopefully John, learned a lot. At the end of the game, he definitely did. He told me. But yeah, it was a fun game. 77-46. That was our first game with this army. Now we're going into game 2, which was against Chaos Demons, and I cannot wait to show you the Chaos Demon army. It was super good. Corey's a really good player, and stay tuned for that video. It's coming up. If you want to see these videos first, they come up on patreon.com, so you get first access to the videos before they hit YouTube. So instead of waiting around, go support us over at Patreon so you get these videos first, and a lot more tactical videos are going up on Patreon in 2024. A lot of specific only stuff on patreon.com. And if you guys are interested in supporting the channel, we have Dirtbag dice, we have stickers, we have objective markers, and we're getting 6-inch widgets very soon. So guys, appreciate it. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments below what you liked, didn't like, how we can improve on the channel, and we'll see you on game 2 against Chaos Demons. What's up, gents? 40K Dirtbags here. If you guys are thinking about joining the Patreon page, we're going to go over each tier and how it's going to benefit you and what you're looking for specifically to get out of 40K in 10th edition coming up. There's a lot of stuff to go over. There's a lot of tactical videos up on the channel, which is for free. There's going to be a bunch of perks that you get specifically for being a part of the Dirtbag Nation Patreon page. So first off, we have the first tier, which is $1 a month. You guys get first access to the videos over at patreon.com. You also get access to the Discord, which is specifically a private link in the Discord that only Patreon members can see. So you guys will have first access to that. Also a benefit is Patreons over the Dirtbag Nation get live streamed games on patreon.com streamed from YouTube, but there's only links specifically for the patreons.com. So not only do you get first access to these videos, you also get to see live stream games specifically only on patreon.com. The next tier is the Justicar. You guys get a shout out on every single video on YouTube. You also get to support us a little bit more. You get first dibs at voting on Discord, as well as you just kind of say, hey, I just want to be a Justicar Dirtbag and support you guys a little bit more than that $1 a month here. But you get all the same access as well as the different color over on the Discord. So the third tier is the competitive Dirtbag. This tier, you get a lot more one-on-one coaching. This is a lot of the Dirtbags over on the Dirtbag Nation. They are able to send out messages one-on-one, go over list ideas, tactics, anything you guys want to talk about. When I was getting into 40K, or really any game in general, I always wanted to message the top players in the meta and just ask them questions. This $10 a month tier gets you that opportunity to message us one-on-one on Discord, so that way we can actually coach you, give you our insights, suggestions, and that's going to get you better at the 40K 10th edition as a whole. So that tier alone, just $10 a month to have one-on-one coaching, one-on-one messages anytime throughout the month, that's going to be a perfect tier for you guys. Even if you're brand new to the game, we go over 1,000-point list, 1,500-point list, 2,000-point brand new starting list, team list, anything you guys need. That's what the competitive Dirtbag tier is for. Also, you get a little bit red number name tag on Discord, so people know that you're really serious about getting into the competitive scene. The Grandmaster Dirtbags. This is the all-in-all $25 a month tier. You get one-on-one coaching, everything we said prior to this, but you guys get to see me, Mike, any of the other Dirtbags play your specific list that you want to see tested out live on one of our battle reports. You guys get to mention, suggest videos you guys want to see coming up on patreon.com. So you guys get the above first tier benefit of everything that we do over at Dirtbag Nation. All the support mainly comes from you guys supporting us over here at Dirtbag Nation. And Grandmasters, I can't thank you enough, but for $25 a month, you get one-on-one coaching and anything you want to see live on the tabletop. So you get to see a professional play right in front of you. You guys get to kind of like see it one-on-one, and I'm actually making this specifically for you. There's also TTS events that you guys can suggest. If you guys want to do a first 1 or 2 turn run through on TTS, we can actually log in and coach you one-on-one with that. If you guys see us at any GTs, you guys get special benefits, free dice, stuff like that. Anytime you purchase a merch thing on Discord, you guys get a free limited edition Dirtbag dice sent to you with every single purchase on top of that. So there's a lot of benefits coming up with the Grandmaster Dirtbag. You guys, I can't thank you enough for supporting us. Definitely let me know which tier would be best for you if you go over to patreon.com and specifically go to a tier. And make sure you don't forget to message me up on Discord. That's where we check every single day. If you guys are really into getting into 10th edition 40K, head over to Patreon, join the competitive Dirtbag or the Grandmaster. Message me as many times as you possibly want, and I'll coach you the best I possibly can on any specific army that you guys play. Mainly our armies right now, currently, going into 2024, is going to be Chaos Space Marines, Grey Knights, Death Guard, and then we have Custodes, Sisters, and I think that's it going into the Wings of 2024. But again, any other army that you guys play, we have other coaches lined up for the Dirtbags that are ready to take on that role of the competitive Dirtbag page. So guys, really appreciate it. Thanks for clicking on the video. Thanks for joining the Dirtbag Nation if you guys are already part of us. And we'll see you in another video soon.